What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls, at the end of the day, is now pretty much the biggest meme in the NBA at the moment, with obviously Donovan Mitchell dropping 71 very good points against the Chicago Bulls as the Bulls walk away with one of the more embarrassing losses of the NBA season. It's definitely losses that I hate to suffer as well. If you know me, for the past 3 years that I've been doing videos on the Chicago Bulls, I absolutely hate when the Bulls have at least a 20-point lead in the first half of a game, and then they literally see it wash away. And we've seen a couple of those from last season to 2 seasons ago, and obviously we've suffered one this season as well. And I kind of want to talk about what the Chicago Bulls need to do to get over being the laughingstock of the NBA at the moment, which for the most part, if you've gone on any social media platform, you go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere you want to find it, because of Donovan Mitchell's historic moment against the Chicago Bulls, we have now been dragged into that meme category, and we are being a laughingstock at the moment. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you think they could turn this thing around after, again, a very bad loss against Cleveland, to being a laughingstock, to being a meme around the NBA. Look, as Bulls fans, it's heartbreaking in many ways that we have to deal with this situation right now, where teams, fans around the NBA are laughing at our team, talking about how bad we are, talking about how amazing Donovan Mitchell was and whatnot. But unfortunately, this is a pill we have to swallow. This is what we have to take when you support your team. I say it every single time the Bulls suffer through bad moments. If you can't support them through the bad times, you should never be supporting them through the good times. What makes this, I guess, 71-point performance from Donovan Mitchell so good for Cleveland is that Cleveland has not been a historically good NBA team over the course of their history. They got LeBron James that really elevated them, and now they've got a good team here in Cleveland. Very young, talented team, but for the most part, they have been a team that has been fairly average at best, or to below average. So for Cleveland fans coming into, I guess, this season, a team that's expected to win, a team that I think has proven a lot of people wrong, and obviously now having a player that breaks their franchise history in points, in a single points per game category, that's obviously incredible for them, and they're enjoying the good times, is what I'm trying to say in, I guess, a long way of explanation. They're enjoying the good times because they suffered through the bad times as well. That's what Cleveland fans had to go through. That's what Bulls fans are going through right now. We're going through bad times, we're going through good times. Pretty much every single day, we're feeling something different about this Bulls team. But again, in saying that, it kind of just sucks that it was against the Chicago Bulls, realistically. And how can we overcome this situation? There are a couple of ways that the Bulls can do this, with the first one being a response. A response has to be given against the Brooklyn Nets in our next game. I think in terms of the NBA, realistically, the next day, people are going to forget that the Chicago Bulls went through this, to be honest. It seems to be a very short time span. It seems to be, okay, Bulls, let's laugh at them today, focus on the next game tomorrow type of situation. Every team will kind of forget about what the Chicago Bulls did. But on the long term, this will hurt us. When you think 10 years down the line and you're thinking of maybe a situation where on this day, Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points against the Chicago Bulls, it will hurt us in the long term. But in the short term, people are going to forget about this quickly. But for the Bulls fans that will not forget about this quickly, a response needs to be delivered in the next game against Brooklyn. The Big Three have to play incredible basketball against the Brooklyn Nets. There's no other reason why they shouldn't. Our bench is going to have to step up as well. Our defensive intensity will have to be consistent for all 4 quarters. But at the same time, you're going to have to see this Bulls team find some consistency in how they play. I think what was one of the biggest problems is that the Bulls completely fell off a cliff in terms of their style of play from the first half to the second half. Our decision making, again, our defense, our constant barrage of fouls. Yes, the refs played a factor in it as well, but we fell off a cliff in our style of play. Overtime was embarrassing. That's 2 really embarrassing games in overtime that we suffered. I will not forget the Knicks game in overtime. That was embarrassing by this Bulls team, and the Cavs one was much worse in total. But a response has to be given by this Bulls team. 2, again, if we can't see a response, If we can't see this team turn it around, if we see this team fall to the Brooklyn Nets and then continue to fall beyond that, I've always been saying it, the Bulls need to make trades. I don't think anybody's changed their mind on that. It feels great to win, but you should be talking and discussing trades when you're winning just as much as you are when you're losing. When the big three plays well, we give them props. That's what we do. When the big three don't play well, we don't give them props. That's what we do. When the bench sucks, we say the bench sucks. That's what we do. But I think through all of this, we can fully understand and agree that this team does need trades to make it better. This team is not a competitor. This team is not a contending team. Lonzo coming back will help, but we need more. We need more than what we currently have on this team. And unfortunately, that's another situation we have to go down. Yes, we can see a response against Brooklyn, and Bulls fans might be able to feel okay after that Brooklyn Nets game if we win it, or if we show a response. But for the long-term goals of this Bulls team, ultimately, we've seen this team suffer many embarrassing moments, and trades have to happen. Again, Giannis has a season high against the Chicago Bulls. He had 39 shots that game. Yes, the Bucks lost, but Giannis was incredible. Devin Booker has dropped 50 points on this team. I believe teams like the Knicks, Atlanta, Minnesota, all not naturally known good three-point shooting teams, having their season best three-point shooting performances against the Chicago Bulls. We've suffered many times this season, and somehow, some way, we're still somewhat in a battle to compete for a playoff spot. So it's not all doom and gloom, but at the same time, if you can't respond from this situation, you're going to put a lot of Bulls fans in much more anger than what they currently are. If I was a Bulls player right now, I would feel absolutely hurt. Not only are all the NBA fans laughing at you, because let's be honest, a lot of NBA fans are laughing at guys like Patrick Williams for not boxing out. A lot of NBA fans are laughing at DeMar and Zach for not carrying this team over the line. The whole NBA fan base is laughing at this Bulls team for giving up a 21-point deficit and allowing one player to technically beat us. A lot of NBA fans are laughing at us, and we have to take it. We have to accept it. That's what, at the end of the day, the Bulls players put us through. So yeah, the players should feel hurt. Being laughed at is not necessarily a nice feeling. Are you just going to laugh back? Are you just going to take it and just smile or whatever? Bulls fans should be feeling, Bulls players, should be feeling extremely upset with how they performed. And again, there's always an element of personal pride. You let one player drop 71 points, the most in recent history, obviously outside of Kobe. Devin Booker, 70 points. Again, they lost that game first and foremost, the Phoenix Suns. I'm pretty sure they lost that game against Boston. Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 points and they won. They beat this Bulls team. And you got to have pride. The next game, you got to show pride. You got to show professional pride for a lot more of these games to come. Am I over this Bulls team? I think I'm over of getting embarrassed. And look, we've lost to very low caliber teams. We've obviously lost to Cleveland twice in very underwhelming fashion for the Bulls side of things, controversial fashion as well. But I am tired of being embarrassed. I'm tired of all these history-making moments happening against the Bulls. I'm tired of us letting players absolutely go berserk against this team. I'm tired of letting teams shoot amazingly well from the three-point line when it's against the Chicago Bulls. I'm tired of all these things happening to the Bulls. And at the same time, I'm tired of these players responding for a couple of games and then dropping all the way back to where they were. I'm tired of seeing this team. They had a 3-game win streak. They beat the Bucks as well recently as well. And then in the second half of a game against the Cavs, we're playing hero ball again. I'm tired of that. I'm so tired of this Bulls team when things get hard, or when things don't go their way, or when they're frustrated in one way or another. They go back to shooting hero ball, stupid shots. I hate it so much. That's what this team needs to change, man. This team needs to change its identity. This team needs to change how they play. They play so well for so many games, and then they disappear. The first half of that Cavs game was magnificent. It was brilliant. We were up by 21 points. It was amazing how well we played in that first half. But we fell, and we went back to things that don't work. And I'm sorry, a championship team will never ever do that. Yes, you might lose a couple of games you should win, but you never ever change your identity. You never ever change the way that you play. And this Bulls team changes too much. Either you go to Hero Ball and you play that all season and we lose, or you go to Team Basketball and you live with the results, win or lose. But Hero Ball in isolation will not win in the NBA. We saw it firsthand against the Cavs now. How will we respond? I'm so sick of it, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of the day, that's how we, all things considered, that's how we change our perception around the NBA right now. That's how we change our reputation from a joke to a team that is trying to come back and compete. Our season is not over. And we still have tough games to come. If we can beat Brooklyn and we can beat Boston, then all of a sudden, this game will be forgotten for most Bulls fans at least. In the short term, of course, because the long term, this game will always come back to haunt us. But in the short term, people will forget about this game. But when you're seeing constant Hero Ball in isolation and you'll keep on seeing the same old things really come back to bite this team, then we're not going to be able to change and we will still be a laughingstock around the NBA. You know how many people have called this Bulls team the most disappointing team in the NBA, the saddest team in the NBA? Do you know how many people from the mainstream media has been disrespecting this Bulls team? Look, we've been a laughingstock for a while. This Cavs game might shine a new light for casual fans, might shine a new light for just general NBA fans and not part of the mainstream media, but we've been a laughingstock all this season realistically. So it's put up or shut up. It's either fight back or just go home and let's make some trades and let's get a whole new team in here, because I'm tired of having this team waste our time in many ways. This video went from how the Bulls can change their perception to an all-out rant. And maybe it took a little bit of time for me to feel this way against the Cavs. The Cavs game, I was shocked in many ways, but I think at this point, I don't think anything the Bulls do can surprise me anymore. We've seen the highs of the highs with this team, with the Dallas Mavericks performance, for example, to the lowest of the lows this game against the Cavs. It's been highs, it's been lows, it's been lefts, it's been rights. Again, I genuinely do not think anything will surprise me. I think the only thing that can surprise me about this Bulls team is if they trade Zach LaVine. That's the only thing that can surprise me now, because realistically everybody's up for trade in my eyes, including Zach LaVine. But I just don't think they would do it. I think everybody on this team's up for trade. I think any game is a win-lose scenario for the Bulls. I think we could beat the best teams, but I also think we can lose to the worst. We literally saw it. We versed the Rockets. We lost to the worst team in the NBA at the time. We beat the Bucks, who was one of the best teams in the NBA at the time. We beat Boston, who at the time was one of the best teams in the NBA, probably the best team in the NBA at the time that we versed Boston. So again, what can this Bulls team do to really surprise us now? But yeah, for the short term, if you want to see this Bulls team not be the laughingstock in the NBA, what better way to do it than to verse the Brooklyn Nets, a team that's on an incredible hot streak at the moment, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and beat that Brooklyn Nets team. If we fail to do so, then Bulls fans will be in disarray all over again. Oh my goodness, a 3-game losing streak, what a surprise. Another one to add to the tally. And now we're not beating the good teams anymore like we were a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago now. And we're only losing to bad teams. Now we're losing to both at this point. So Bulls got to turn it around and wait and see what will end up happening. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I apologize for the ranty type video. I know a lot of people just want to forget about this Bulls game, but I'm telling you, in 10 years time, this game will be remembered. And it will be against this Bulls team, and we will have to deal with it. Just like all of Michael Jordan's performances are remembered. All of his big games that he ever has is remembered, including the one against the Cavs. So we will have to suffer through this 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line. We will always be reminded of this moment. And again, we're always reminded about Klay Thompson's three-point shooting record between the Bulls and the Warriors. Every time the Warriors and the Bulls play, you hear someone mention it. We always get reminded of our bad performances, ladies and gentlemen. So it's about time to stop performing badly now, isn't it? Anyway, too much to ask for, I guess. Consistency, I guess it's just, you just can't ask for it. Don't expect it, it's not going to come. So have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.